said it before, and I will say it again. I feel bad for the awkward situation San Diego State is in because of the George Kliavkoff circus. Unfortunately, worst-case sort of scenario played out for San Diego State. Welcome into the channel. I am John Kurtz. Appreciate all of you being here. We talk conference realignment, college football, college basketball from a Big 12 slant here on this channel. Please consider subscribing if you have not already. Make sure you click that bell so you know when it is that I'm going live. I do 2 live shows a week. Drop in some content like this as well for you. And you can support the channel on Venmo. It is John-Kurtz-4 to do that. Okay, San Diego State, we've known about this deadline for a while, June 30th. The nuts and bolts of it here, their exit fee, if they left the conference before June 30th, would be around $17 million. It jumps up and basically doubles to around $34 million right now. By the time you're watching this video, that exit fee has now jumped. There's been a back and forth between San Diego State and the Mountain West to try and extend the deadline. That was not going to happen. And so with the Pac-12 still floundering on its TV deal and only presenting the general framework of a deal to presidents this week, San Diego State got screwed. The Pac-12 does not want to expand until they have the TV deal first, so San Diego State is left to go running back to the Mountain West. And here is the article from Pete Thamel of ESPN. We'll dive into that. It starts with this. San Diego State is expected to deliver notice to the Mountain West that it will not withdraw from the league, a source told ESPN. The update from the school will be the latest in a back and forth between the school and the conference that began on June 13th when San Diego State informed the Mountain West it intends to leave the conference. San Diego State now plans to move forward as part of the Mountain West per sources, as it does not have an invitation from a Power 5 conference. The Mountain West had yet to receive any notice as of early Friday afternoon and has yet to comment. So that was the latest from Pete Thamel at the time that this was put out, like late Friday. San Diego State has had to tuck its tail back and come running back to the conference for a second time after they initially were going to leave about 10 years ago. So it's not the greatest of looks for San Diego State there, but you can't blame them for being put really in this awkward spot by the fact that I'm sure months ago they were being told, much like Pac-12 presidents who came out and said, TV deal's coming soon in March, TV deal's coming soon in April. We heard it over and over again. Surely they were getting word from the top that that was coming. San Diego State probably was too. They didn't think this deadline would be this kind of an issue. It was. And they then had to try to ask awkwardly for an extension on the deadline of when the grant of rights, or when that exit fee rather, would skyrocket up on them. More from Pete Thamel. He says the news emerged on Friday because it marked a significant deadline. If San Diego State were to leave the Mountain West for the start of the 24-25 season after June 30th, it would need to pay nearly $34 million, up from about $16.5 million. That means San Diego State is expected to be in the Mountain West for the next 2 seasons, as it's unlikely it would pay $34 million to leave prior. And look, San Diego State just deserves to be in a Power 5 league. They made the national championship game in basketball. They've had multiple 10-win seasons in football over the last decade. They just built a new football stadium. Like, they deserve this opportunity. They're ready to go. They should be in the Pac-12. My heart kind of aches for them that the Pac-12 does not have its bleep together to actually get them in the league right now when they deserve to be there. It's uncertain how the Mountain West will react, as it informed San Diego State after the June 13th letter that it had accepted the school's notice of resignation. And we talked about it on the last live show, we saw now the official letters, thanks to Freedom of Information Act requests. And, I mean, it did seem like you could absolutely see where the Mountain West has some standing to say that reads like a resignation letter. I mean, that was basically, San Diego State was like, look, we'd like a deadline. We're giving you a heads up right now. Our intention is to leave. The debate is over whether or not that is an official statement of leaving. Included in the process of withdrawing is the removal of San Diego State President Adela De La Torre's seat from the league's board of directors and the withholding of payment to put toward the exit fee. The league typically sends out its annual payment, expected to be around $6 million for San Diego State this week, but San Diego State's payment has not been sent, per a source. So here's another hang-up and another reason that San Diego State's in a very awkward position thanks to the Pac-12. They're missing the $6 million that should be coming in as their conference payout. San Diego State's impending decision comes the day that the Pac-12's board of directors again met for an update on the league's TV negotiations. Pac-12 Commissioner George Kliavkoff gave a more detailed presentation to the Pac-12 board, but sources told ESPN's Heather Dinich that no deal is expected to be announced imminently. San Diego State had asked the Mountain West for a month-long extension to essentially see if the Pac-12 could figure out a deal, as the initial letter pointed to unforeseen delays involving other collegiate athletic conferences. A hilarious statement in that email. Unforeseen delays involving other collegiate athletic conferences. Yeah, a.k.a. George Kliavkoff was giving them the same snake oil salesman sort of speech that he was to all of his own presidents and athletic directors who started blabbing about that everywhere. And frankly, to the Pac-12 propaganda machine media members as well, who were blabbing about that for a long time and have repeatedly moved the goalposts. San Diego State got duped with them. They just have a little more stake in the game. San Diego State has been public about the schools working toward attempting to join the Pac-12 in the wake of the departures of USC and UCLA. In the Mountain West's second letter to San Diego State, the conference made clear that no exceptions the school asked for, including the extra month, would be granted. Sources had indicated to ESPN that San Diego State was exploring all of the options and asking all of the questions. I mentioned the last time San Diego State had to do this, they announced they would join the Big East back in 2011. Then in 2013, they had to come back, and the Mountain West presidents did vote to allow San Diego State back into the league. So, look, I think if you're the Mountain West, there's no way you would sit there and tell San Diego State they can't come back. You would stand to lose a lot of money. That would be kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face sort of a deal for the conference, but I don't know what's going to happen to that $6 million payment. I don't know what happens to De La Torre's board seat. There are some things here that could get really tricky for San Diego State. Plus, just now, what's the relationship going to be like between you and your conference mates over the next couple of years? And, by the way, San Diego State still has to nervously wait it out to see if the Pac-12 is going to survive all of this as George Kliavkoff continues to not actually deliver this TV deal. So, to be continued, as conference realignment turns, we have more drama, of course. I will be doing a live show on Monday night, changing it from Sunday to Monday this week, so make sure that you are on the lookout for that with this holiday weekend, the schedule being a little bit different. Support the channel on Venmo. It is John-Kurtz-4. Appreciate all of you guys for being here. Spread the word about the channel, social media, word of mouth, etc. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will talk to you all soon.